Good afternoon. Thursday, October 19th, 2:30. This is a meeting of the Riggs County Commission, scheduled meeting. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Move on to roll call. Gabriel. Here. Tranby.
Here.
Zorn.
Here.
Edlund.
Here.
And Wakefield is present.
Sorry, I didn't.
All right, have a look at the agenda. Additions, subtractions,
The only thing that
concerns,
got added since last night was employee background checks. Got added.
employee what?
Employee background checks.
Employee background check.
It's already on there, so that's just the additions.
All right, okay. So, we'll need a motion when you're ready to approve the agenda as presented with the addition of the employee background check.
So moved.
Motion by Edlund. Would there be a second to that motion?
I'll second that.
Second by Tranby. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Agenda approved. Have a look at the October 5th meeting minutes.
We have a
Yeah.
Chairman Peterson.
I seen that.
Wishful thinking.
Got it. I'll get that all fixed for
That's
you
fine.
guys.
There's like two of them in there. I see.
Yep.
So when ready, and no rush, or make sure we read it through, we'll need a motion to approve the minutes either as proposed or modified. And then we need to know whether you don't want them read or not.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes with the changes of take Chairman Peterson out of it, make Chairman Wakefield out of there instead. And disperse with the reading.
Motion by Tranby to approve the minutes as presented with minor clerical errors concerning the name of the chairman. Do we have a second to that?
I'll second it.
Second by Avriel. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Minutes approved. On to the bills. Samantha, anything that we need to look at on the bills?
In your packet, there is one for Aaron Hook. Trying to find where that is here. Aaron Hook for $621. That needs to be taken out, and it has been taken out because it needs to be pushed through payroll and not through a voucher like this. So that'll go through payroll and
That one, make the motion.
and then the reason that your general courthouse balance is so far under is because of one of those grants that Annie was in here for. She had talked about it, and it should have went in and out, but it's the county's portion, so we would have had to, we didn't know what number to take from the general courthouse, so it just all came out of general courthouse. So we are getting either 90% back or even 100% back, but we have not received that yet, so that just went out of the general courthouse. So that money is coming back in. You guys do have some Jamestown Communications. Those are the radios.
Okay.
So I wasn't sure exactly where you wanted to take those out of because we do have them budgeted, the revenue and everything into next year's budget. So we just took it out of there. So if you guys want it taken out of somewhere else, you can let me know that. Other than that, nothing else looked out of the ordinary.
Make a motion to approve the invoices. Removing Aaron Halverson Hook invoice.
We have a motion by Edlin to approve the bills as presented with the removal of Aaron Halverson Hook. That'll be put on in the next meeting, I would imagine.
Yeah, payroll.
It'll go through payroll, yeah.
Do we have a second to that motion?
I'll second it.
Second by Averill. We'll move on to a roll call vote. Averill,
Aye.
Tranby,
Aye.
Zorn,
Aye.
Hedlund,
Aye.
Wakefield votes aye. Bills approved.
Can we do the beer and liquor license before the policing contract?
Everybody, evidently somebody's thirsty, huh? Page 13.
Yeah.
So this is the same as, this is for 6 months, correct?
Correct.
We've done these, not with these owners, but over and over and over again. And we do it for 6 months rather than a year, not sure why.
They like to do it. I think some of them have done a year, but usually with the Sutton Pub, it's always been the 6 months.
Yeah.
This is contingent on the state issuing them a liquor license.
Correct.
So we just tentatively approve this. If the state goes along with it, we're good with it. If not, we're not.
I make a motion to approve the liquor license for Sutton Pub.
Motion by Edlin to approve the liquor license presented by the Sutton Pub in the fee, for the fee of what, $50?
$50 and then $100.
Yeah, for the beer license and $100 for the liquor
Oh, that's
license.
what it is,
Yep, and this would be for a 6-month period.
okay.
Do I have a second to that
I'll
motion?
second.
Second by Tranby. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Beer and liquor license approved. 1 second while we sign this. Well, if they're waiting there, they can crack the first beer. Okay. County copier proposal. Oh, there's Bob.
Hey, Bob.
Hey,
Can we put one in front of you, Bob, or you wanna go right away?
what's that?
You wanna go right away? or
You
should
can
we
do
put one in
whatever.
front of you? What do you wanna do?
Doesn't matter.
He's signed in, we'll wait. Bob, police contract. Amongst other things, I would imagine.
I do need to sign this too.
Key, you got the one from the city in front of you?
Yep.
The school one? We had it all done,
Both, please?
and we had a save
no, this
issue,
one
so
I
I gotta
think is
redo
mine.
it this afternoon.
I sign here.
Yeah, I think so. Thank you.
So the only thing I saw on this, on the contract was paragraph 8. I don't think it's possible to allow 2 county commissioners to make policy. I think that would have to be a
Okay.
decision of the board.
That's all done in the last 5 I knew was balled in.
Yeah, I think because it says, in the event of a dispute concerning the construction, enforcement, or modifications of this contract, the matter will be submitted to a committee of 2 county commissioners, 2 city councilmen, and a sheriff for resolution, and its determination therefore shall be final and conclusive between the parties that are heretofore.
Oh, kinda like how
2
this.
people can't make the decision, it has to be the.
It
has to
would
the
be
group.
like for mitigation purpose.
Oh,
Yeah.
kinda like subcommittees, like,
It's to be a subcommittee to
Yeah,
Speak, however you guys want to, we can change whatever.
Well, that, when Jamie pointed that one out, so he's gonna make changes to it.
Okay.
Then the only other thing that came to question is the dollar value weighed against the hours. You know, it seems to be a pretty cheap fee for the amount of service they're getting.
Correct.
Yeah, that's, you know, I was looking at the,
Yeah, the memorandum of understanding we'll have with the city on the actual details, it's, I say it. They're getting X number of hours during that.
yeah, 75.
Yeah, so, what I told the city, we gotta come up and see what they want. I mean, it could end up being 2 hours a shift when we work for the city, you know, whatever they wanna do. In fact, they know full well they're not getting a 40-hour week anything.
Right,
So-
but I mean, we put 775 hours, which would give them a deputy for $38 an hour, and of course, we all know that with everything provided, that's not feasible. I wonder if that should be amended, I mean, if we're held at 775 hours, that's close to half, not quite half, but that's getting close to half the hours of a day, so that's a half-time deputy.
Okay, so there's 775 hours left after this where that number came from. If the same person was working from the school, there's 775 hours left of the year. But that city position is not tied to the school position in any form or fashion on the working end of it. Now, your guys' revenue end of it may be, but on the city end, the city's paying for some kind of coverage.
Yeah, right. No.
And I get to determine the hours they work, but they're not getting 775 hours of coverage. There's 775 shifts that's broken down to be 775 hours. You know, they're not getting 8-hour shifts. They're going to get whatever we can give them.
No, I
So
understand.
we should probably clean that up.
But the patrolling hours of the city and the county shall be at the sheriff's discretion. However, the hours, 775 hours annually, are to be at various times of the day and night as closely as possible to discuss. And a full-time deputy would work 40
Right.
hours a week, 50 hours, would work 2,000 hours, so we're approaching half-time.
Right.
And if we could take the hours out of there and leave
Correct.
it at the discretion of
That
the
would be
sheriff,
that.
I think that would be better.
It's solely at my discretion that they're going to work,
That's.
or whoever the sheriff is.
Then the other thing that stands out to me, and maybe Dennis can recollects, but I believe the last policing contract with the city was $80,000 or $74,000.
But that was for a full-time dedicated person.
It was, okay.
That has not been the case since that was ordered.
Okay. And then the other thing is.
They're not asking for full-time either.
No,
just-
the other thing is, as you're gonna speak, we're having problems maintaining personnel, and we're gonna have to get this bidding war and raise prices. Should we have should we have more money put into this in order to try to cover that? I would think so.
Yeah, so, nothing official in black and white, but I know for sure I'm losing 2, if not all 3 of my staff.
Yeah. And so if you divide, for a 3-person police force, with everything involved with it, it costs us $497,000 per person.
How many?
$497,000. So,
Per person?
yeah, so if you divide the budget for the 3-person police force by 3, that's with the equipment and everything else, that's what it costs. So to offer a deputy at $30,000 seems like
We're-
quite a deal.
We're not offering him any kind of a full-time or guaranteed position. One thing the city needs, they have a lot of papers to serve, and they have nobody to serve
Yeah.
this. So we'll take care of some of that. They know they're getting very little for their money.
Okay, well, then we should
So
probably,
we'll definitely.
we should probably
work
clean
on
that up in
We'll
here
clean
so
that
that,
up.
Fix
so
the
that,
hours, yep.
as long as they know it and we know it, we don't have to set a time to it as far as I'm.
And I'm gonna.
And I would like to see the dollar figure higher. I mean, that seems pretty cheap.
Yep, it does.
And the other thing is, what is our duties? I mean, are we the dog catcher? What are we doing? And who is? Is this the responsibility of the sheriff's department or the county?
Of what?
the services provided. So is this with the sheriff's department?
Well, there's
or
nobody in
is-
Vermont than me that can provide these services, we've got certified law enforcement, so that's pretty much not really a problem. The services there are law enforcement duties. So they would like somebody in town a couple hours on a Friday night, Saturday night, so we can make that happen. I can see you guys need to work a couple
Yep.
hours on Friday, Saturday night.
No, the point I was trying to make is if
The
in the
contract's
future.
with the county, the contract's not with, the sheriff's department is a separate entity within the county, so. it's
Right, so,
reported-
so then no matter what sheriff is there, the county's still responsible for
Right.
these duties. That's what I was trying to get to.
Correct,
That's-
yes.
yeah, that's what I was trying to get to.
And
So-
duties that'll be agreed upon between both parties. Once the contract's signed, then we'll go to the next step of doing a memorandum of understanding what's expected, and that's where we can fight that battle on times and hours, and we can amend whatever you want to amend. Or we can not do it.
No,
No, I'm just saying
Yeah,
you can
I-
you can do whatever you want to do.
I think if we're going to go to that point then where we're going to discuss what needs to be done, I don't think we need to put a price in here yet or the duties yet, if that's the next step.
Right. So, and I guess the other side of that coin, if you look at that, there's no way we can provide full-time duties to the city because I don't have the staff to do that full-time.
Well,
I could not dedicate to say, you're gonna work in Cooperstown for these 8 hours and you're gonna work these, around the clock. It's just not feasible.
Yeah, but I mean, the last thing you want, or I want, or any of the rest of us want, is the city calling up and say, why aren't you here? We got these problems. Here's this contract. You're supposed to be here. We're
Exactly.
keeping track when you're here.
Exactly, and I was very clear about that when we spoke.
Yeah.
So.
Jamie, you have anything to add on this thing?
I don't know if you, covered the part about, the committee between. the-
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did.
That was my only, is signing up for something that we don't.
So how do you
know the
guys want to
terms
remedy that?
of. I,
I think in order, since it's a contract between the county and a contract between the city, I think it has to be ratified by both. So if there's a disagreement, I think it just,
Can we,
I think you can have a committee, but it still has to be ratified by the commission.
Correct. The city is gonna have 2 people, they will bring it forward to their city council for any kind of official action. But I don't know if you guys wanna call a special meeting and talk 5 minutes about something on a police contract either, that's something, that's above me.
I think, to me, this sentence here reminds me of, like when social services would have their meeting, 2 could attend that meeting. Or the fairgrounds has their meeting, we're invited to that meeting, to attend that meeting. Is that what this, in the event of a dispute, so if he has
Yes,
a
it
5
would be like a
minute
mitigation meeting or something.
well, it was until the final, and this determination therefore shall be final and conclusive between the parties heretofore. That-
Okay.
Until that was
I
put
think
in
we
there.
can remove that language and just say that any resolution to the dispute is taken to each respective board.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then the next paragraph kind of clarifies that the terms of the agreement shall be effective January 1st, 2024 till December 31st. In addition, either party may terminate the agreement upon resolution by either body, provided written notice is served 30 days prior to the termination date. So there is, you're not bound by number 8, but we should take the language out that does bind number 8. And number 9 basically determines where the authority for this thing is, right? Isn't that right, Jamie?
I like the words that the verbiage Jamie was saying to change 8 to, I think that works fine.
Whatever.
So,
Yeah, it just has to, I mean, two commissioners and 2 city council members can't bind the agreement.
Anything.
Since it's not a quorum or majority, so.
But they can gather info, bring it forward.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how their boards have been done, as long as I've been working for counties.
Yeah.
There's always 1 or
I'm
2
fine
commissioners
with
on a
that.
board, or a committee meeting.
Yeah.
The committee has to, even if it is a committee between the 4 of them, it still has to be noticed and it's still, meetings have to be, their meeting minutes have to be taken, but.
yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
it can be, any recommendations then should just be brought forward to each respective board.
well, maybe to speed up the process, if it's gotta be noticed and everything, maybe it should just be between the full board anyway. Then it doesn't have to go from the committee to here, it could be done in one swoop. I mean, what's happening?
Unless the committee meets and is like, no, that isn't something worthy for the whole entire board to.
Well, I'll say the financial end of this, once it's installed, it's really, I don't really see that changing. What only thing that's gonna be, that would be any gray area up and down would be in the duties on site, and that'll be worked out between the sheriff and the administration at school. There will be no financial end tied to that, that's just gonna be
Right.
be working product.
Right. Right.
So however you guys wanna do it, I'm for it, whatever.
I mean, for transparency and to speed up the process, I think we should sit down with the city council and have a meeting. I think we should sit down with the school board and have a meeting. And it's all, then at the end of the meeting, everybody knows where they're at. We can bring everything up, they can vote on it, each side can vote on it, and
That's
it's
what you wanna
done.
do.
That sounds like a plan. It would be just have a special meeting, contact them, pick a date,
Well, you could do it right during one of these meetings.
and do that.
However they want to do it, I mean, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Same thing too, going to a city council meeting or a school board meeting, just so we can get this done and get it locked in.
Well, should we just call it next meeting, let's just call it a joint meeting.
Yeah.
And everybody.
For everybody, and the one thing on the school board one I saw that it has to, that one was kind of pay on demand.
Yep.
It can't be that way because we don't have a deputy sitting around to get used, so it's gotta be a set figure, split up on monthly payments or yearly payments, but it can't be for 9 months and then it's off, because what do we do with the deputy that we hire in those months that are not at the school?
That's what the school proposed,
Yeah,
so
And maybe they'd be willing to renegotiate
possibly.
a different
yeah.
payment plan.
But as of right now, I mean, it's almost, I mean, I just say here today, but it's almost a moot point because.
I know, okay,
Yeah.
that's my
I can't-
biggest focus
I can't find a
is,
living person even.
Right.
how are we going to, how and
I don't know,
what?
you should have a joint meeting with 53 counties, they all got the same problem.
and then every state, and every entity, and.
I don't have the right answer for that school resource position, I don't know.
When you have inflation going like this, and there's competition for the positions, every time you hire somebody, the next person has to raise the price, and the next person has to raise the price,
I
and you're
know.
well aware of that.
Well aware of that, I mean,
And
it's-
there's no end to it, so what you deem as a fair salary today won't be a fair salary
Nope.
3 weeks from now. And I don't, as Bob says, he doesn't have the answer, and I don't, nobody does, other than when inflation finally comes over the top, the trend will reverse, but when does that happen, don't
It-
know.
it's hard because your hands are tied. Because I have services to, I'm just speaking for myself
Yeah.
at work, I have services to provide and I need the people to do it. So I have to go with the inflation. I have to increase my rates. I have to pay them more in
Yeah.
order to get people in there.
So a little
Well,
bit different.
I'll just lay some of the items out there that I deal with and
Yeah.
from other counties are dealing with this. The weekend deputy, they start on Friday at noon and they're on call until Monday morning at 8 o'clock. Okay?
So they don't go out patrolling, they're just.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, they don't patrol.
Oh,
They
okay.
They put in a shift, but they're on call the rest of the time. You know, there's no, they're not leaving to run the Walmart in Jamestown or nothing like that.
Yeah.
And there's no additional compensation for that. Other counties have on-call time for those, you know, they have a set figure they give them for a deputy for a weekend. Some do it strictly by call out, some do it, they work it into, you know, different ways, that's one of the items. And I think another thing is too, is the potential candidates we have nowadays, they're a little more discerning about what they're doing in life, you know, they live a different life than we do, than I did when I was in law enforcement. They want to put in their 8, 9, 10 hours to be done. They want to go home. They got families. They got stuff they want to do. But you know, here you're on call, and I don't know how to remedy that without more people, and that's not going to happen. We've tried that. That doesn't seem to work out. And I think the county philosophy with their employees, you know, it's been some pretty harsh times here for staff and for department heads, and you know, there's an aura or a reputation that follows Greek County right now, and I hear about it all the time when I'm out in meetings and stuff, and these young people check into this, they're thinking, well, do I want to work there? You know, is that what I want to do? And I can't change the culture here. I'm not in that position. I mean, you asked, I'm telling you, there you are.
I know.
And there's more, I mean, there's always more, there's more to everything.
Well, yeah, so I agree with what you said. The problem is that the taxpayers are to a point, if you've noticed, there's a statewide petition going around now to abolish property tax. There was been such an outrage statewide after the tax proposals, or property tax proposals were sent out, that there's a petition, and it's pushed by some pretty high-ranking state officials this time. Grand Forks County, after they sent out their tax estimates, had to go back and try to redo their taxes. It was so high that the public revolted. Now they would let it go past the deadline. Now they're trying to redo the property taxes to lower them because of what happened. I don't know what's gonna happen.
I'm aware of that, and I totally understand that.
Yeah,
But I don't think there's any taxpayers in this county can look at the county commission and say, you guys have been squandering money away. No one's gonna say that. No one's gonna say, you guys have been spending recklessly. No one's say that. But like, my office right now, we need new computers for our cars.
Yep.
And that is just a fact of nature. I can't change that. Last time they bought computers, they bought the same ones. They're just refurbed with new batteries and wiped off screens or whatever. I don't know what the deal was. But that's, in the computer world, you don't buy refurbs. What you got, you're trying to get rid of. So Brian was at training and Shane were at training. Both of them held up the training class because their computer ain't fast enough.
That's
We've got
embarrassing.
new CAD system. So when someone calls 911, the officer working, state radio instantly sends them a map on how to get there. And we don't have just hometowners working anymore. You know, there's pretty much any place in the county, I can just about find any outhouse in the county, but I've been here my whole life.
Yeah.
New people, even the ones who live here, they don't have that same situational awareness that we do. The people that have been here longer are older than us.
Well, not just that, half the time those GPS locations aren't even close to being accurate,
Right.
too.
So our computers are accurate, like right to the gnat's ass.
they're
my friend.
geosynchronized just like the firefighter.
So when you call 911, that in the radios, that's our lifeline to those people. That's it. That's what it is. There's no other way to get them there. You know, we're not doing smoke signals anymore. That kind
Do
of
you
stuff.
have any funds in your budget? I don't know what your current budget
Nothing.
looks like.
So I sent
Know
out
what it is
requests.
right now.
I sent out
Like what his
requests.
balance
Oh,
is as of this year.
No.
If you
I
could.
sent out requests for gaming funds
Yeah,
to try and get computers. We'll see what happens.
Okay, good.
Because we're one of the front line recipients of those gaming funds.
yep, yep.
And I hope we get some of that. I did for 2 different organizations to replace that critical equipment. So I'm hoping within the next 15 days I get an answer, because I know they'll all be meeting here shortly.
Oh, good.
Hopefully it works out. I mean, it's gambling fund that people have chosen to throw away. It's not tax dollars they're being forced to pay.
So, maybe I'll get accused of giving a speech here again, but the whole point of what I've been trying to impress upon everybody is that we have to set a dollar value we want to set in Griggs County. Then we have to prioritize those dollars. Transportation, safety, and taking care of our people that can't take care of themselves are the priorities. That's where the money should go first. If there's money left over, it should trickle on down. I don't think there's anybody out there in Griggs County that says that it's more important to have a county agent than a deputy sheriff. There are priorities that need to be set, and there's ways to do that, but hard decisions need to be made. And then we can have the basic services funded to the extent they need to be funded. Any money left over can go to the services that are in excess. Not everything in tough times is necessary to fund. And that's why when we try to fund everything and then we take that money, we spread it too thin. We need to have the top priority things, and then it needs to trickle down from there. And if you look at what's happening in Griggs County right now as far as tax goes, the poor citizens of Cooperstown are just taking a beating and going to take a worse beating. They're up against the levy limit, so their taxes are going up there. They're up against, because they're against the levy limit, these valuations are going to raise their taxes. The sales tax is going up 2%. The school is trying to take another huge bite out of them, and the specials are coming due. There is going to be a point where people say enough is enough.
Well, I guess another topic too, you asked me, I'm gonna throw it out there.
Yep.
So during the budget hearings, I made it very clear we need to replace the vehicle, very clear. And when I left the meeting that day, that vehicle was still on the budget, was gonna be purchased. And then after I left, that was removed from the budget and voted on happily to prove that. And now I'm told the only way we can possibly look at another vehicle, as 1 or 2 meetings ago, is if the city and the school cough up some money. At no point during my time with the budget hearings was that even talked about.
No,
Okay.
not the school. So he trying to propose the $30,000 from the
Yep.
from the school, from the city, and then the $30,000 that would come into the next year's budget. So at the first of this year, there will be money to buy the car. So he
Okay, that's
didn't.
not the message I got last meeting. That is not the message I got about
That's
that.
what.
So I'm not finished talking.
Okay, I didn't
I'm
do
not
it.
finished talking.
Go ahead, yeah.
Okay. So I got a 2012 Dodge pickup.
Yep.
Fenders are rusting through it. The driver's seat's shot. The motor's knocking. It's got 100-some thousand miles on it. And I'm not driving now until next week because it's got a cracked trailing link in it. And they can't fix it till next Thursday. I don't know how many citizens of Greeks County expect their sheriff's office to drive around in vehicles like that. Because when someone calls 911,
You gotta go.
even if they're not a big supporter of law enforcement, because I've been through this many times in my career, people, oh, we don't need no more cops, we don't need this. But when the phone rings, they're goddamn glad you're standing there. And I babied that truck along, I've nursed it along to get it where it's at, and I'll keep nursing it and putting some repairs into it. But those are kind of the things that, where you get an aura. I go to Steele County, they got good update vehicles. Foster County, good update vehicles. Nelson County got good update. Barnes County. It's always a fight to the death here to get a vehicle. It's a fight to the death to get, and I told you guys when I came back here, I made it very clear, I am gonna bring you a budget with zero fluff. And I didn't. I did not bring a budget here with zero fluff. I didn't bring anything of fluff in there. I even did, there's things I didn't even ask for because I knew there's no way in hell it was gonna be funded. So, that's all I can say. And those kind of, that word travels. And so if you got potential candidates for working, I guess if you can take that for what it's worth. It's the world that I live in every day.
So the budget from 2023 that we're operating under right now
Yep.
to what was approved for 2024, less the 80,000, is already increased by 48%. So the budget increased by 48%. If you add on the 100 or the 80,000, then we're approaching the 90% margin. So you can't say the budget was stayed dormant. It increased by a big number. It's evidently the number wasn't big enough, but it did increase.
Okay, and in response to that, I did not say that. I did not bring fluff. So if you're saying that's $100-some thousand of fluff, you're
I didn't
down
say
in-
I didn't say that,
Well,
Bob.
see,
I just said the
so then
budget.
You
I
went
just
this
said the
little lecture
budget.
about what the budget went. I know what the budget went up. I got to look at the paperwork.
So
I'm just saying, I did not bring up,
I-
I did not ask for anything that was not necessary.
Right.
I didn't say that. I just said the budget, we made
Right.
budget increases that amounted to 48%. Evidently, that wasn't enough. As of this, when we get to $30,000 and the $50,000, the budget increase will be 80%. And the car will be available come the first of the year. And that was, we all assumed that you were in the loop on that because it wasn't proposed by me, it wasn't proposed by Stephanie. We all assumed you were in the loop, everybody was in agreement, and that's how it went.
No.
So.
You know, I would think there'd be enough wherewithal there to say, hey, quick phone call. I mean, it happens to other people. And so I guess the bottom line here is, we need certain equipment to do our job. And I knew I wasn't gonna bring a budget here with new computers for 50,000 or 35,000. I wasn't gonna bring this, that. I knew it wasn't gonna get funded because it hasn't been funded in previous years. So I picked what I thought we needed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I submitted. So, and that's where my budget came from. There was nothing else in there. I didn't ask for pie in the sky. I didn't ask for anything.
What happened to shopping for a vehicle and then using the reserve to buy it?
You know,
did we find something?
I
for
talked
that,
to some citizens about that. They said they don't want to spend their money on used cars. They don't want to spend their money on used cars that you have no warranty on.
Okay.
And
true.
I get that. Now,
True.
me personally, I do that for myself.
Yeah.
But they don't want to see that for their emergency responses. That's like buying an old beat up fire truck.
Right.
You know, that doesn't make any sense either.
That's true.
You know, there's arguments both ways on that.
Well,
But if you're going to spend taxpayer dollars and get the most bang for your buck,
right.
you want something that's going to have service for 10 years, or because here we run them. I mean, I'm driving a 2012.
But I mean, the vehicle should be ordered right now.
But here's my.
I have no authorization to order no pickup. No one's come to me and said, "Hey, you can order a pickup." It has not happened.
Well,
So you can point all the fingers you want to each other. I don't know.
So-
No one told me to order a vehicle.
Okay.
Nobody.
Here's my question on that. There's 35,000 in the 2024 budget.
and there's 30,000 coming from the
And we still have 30.
Potentially. But it was just told me that money's earmarked for something else.
Oh, I
But-
see what you're doing.
But what's gonna happen though is that it takes you 2 years to get that 60,000 to buy a vehicle. So if we use that 25 funds to buy the vehicle now, you won't be able to get a vehicle until 27, 2 years later.
And the one,
And that's not gonna work.
one won't make it that long. It's already got 60-some thousand miles.
So what you need is a vehicle now and a vehicle 24 and 25.
We
Or
could
do you
probably
almost-
get through 25, I would guess.
So we could
With
use,
maintenance, we take care of them.
So if we did one this year and then one in 2 years, you'd probably be okay.
2020,
I think if the county got on a rotation here, like, and stuck with it,
right?
Well, that's one of the reasons
I
like
think-
we increased it and we're talking about keeping the increase next
yeah,
year.
I think we could, but you're not gonna have an increase next year if we spend it this year.
Yeah, because we're gonna
No,
spend.
no, but what I'm saying is, we increased it this year to see where it's at, so we can rotate in more vehicles regularly sooner. That's
Okay.
why we talked about it.
My
From what
personal
my
feelings on this,
understanding is.
I think if we maintain a car, we can run them past 100. Because they're ours, we've had them since day one, we can get them past 100,000 miles. And as long as they're in good shape, we can keep using them.
How
How many miles a year did you put on, Bob?
It depends.
long does it take
There's years
to?
I put 45,000
Sorry.
on my car. And that wasn't no joyriding. It just,
No, I know.
I mean, when it was just Hendricks and I, there's two of us did this around the clock. So now the numbers have gone down into 30s, 40s, and just, it stacks up. But it isn't just, the thing I remember too, our cars are used and driven different than most people's
Yeah,
cars are.
Correct.
There's more runtime. They're
They're
started cold and take off down the road, and it's just what they are. They're a tool. They're not a prized possession. They're just a tool of what we have to do to respond to people. And I really do think if we get on a schedule, we should be able to run these cars a minimum of 4 years.
Yeah. I mean, that's what Tranby had. I mean, you proposed spending the $35,000 from next year combined with the $30,000 from the city in order to order the car, correct? That's the way I understood
Well,
it.
yeah, the 30, it was $10,000 to begin with, correct, Sam?
Correct.
And we added 25,000 to it.
That's right.
Yeah, so it'd be 35 total for upcoming January 1st, 2024.
And then the
You know.
30,000 wasn't.
Yes, I didn't know, I didn't get this now, you're talking about that 30,000 from the city to put in there, is that what we're talking about?
That's what
I guess I
yeah.
didn't realize that part of it, I guess, I didn't.
No,
you know.
that's what I mean,
Yeah.
so that the car could be ordered
Okay.
now and take delivery the first of the year. That was the understanding I got from
Okay, I
that.
guess, yeah, I was.
And that's, so we're talking about, I don't know if it'll be here by the first of the year if it was ordered. I thought that Bob was on board with all that, and that's how we're doing
News
it.
to me.
So, can you,
So the other part here of this is, give me thoughts back here.
can you,
So, and we were talking about this 30,000 city, and it was just talked minutes ago about that revenue is needed to accommodate bringing this officer on.
yeah,
Yeah, we almost.
So how can we split that 30,000 that way in towards the car? So if you guys, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just, I'm on the recipient side of this
Yep.
information.
yep,
If we don't, we're not even too fully staffed yet. So the next year's budget was gonna staff 4 total law enforcement
That was the plan,
officers.
yeah.
With the school resource officer.
Right.
If I
Right.
find that.
So I
The way it's looked at, I
think,
don't think you guys need to worry too much about it.
no,
but
so I think we
we'll
need to
try.
take this one step at a time. I think if the car is a priority, the car can be ordered now for delivery the first of the year. That money was already
yes, please.
anticipated in the budget,
Do we need to make a motion on that, or do we
and
just?
it's already there.
It's,
Okay,
But,
I'm gonna bring up 2 or 3 meetings ago when I was here, you guys were talking about the car. And it was the purchasing that meeting, and I'll go back and listen to the minutes if I need to, but I know I don't need to. It was talked about that car was based on revenue from the city and from the school. So each day since the start of school, the revenue from the school is dropping $261. Because
correct, I did,
they're only funding,
yeah.
during the school year.
whether dollar amount gets spread out or whatever, we can collect it all year long if we want to, but they're not gonna pay until they get something for their services. Right now, they're not getting anything. So that number's going down. So that being said, if you guys want me to purchase a car, find a car, I will do that.
Yes, please.
But the school, in the final budget negotiations, is the money from the school was not to go towards the vehicle, it was go towards the fourth officer.
Okay, that's
And it
fine.
was gonna pay
That's right.
$50,000 in the fourth officer.
Yep.
Averill and Tranby proposed the vehicle part of it, and we're gonna use the 30,000 from the city, along with the 35 that was available after the first of the year to purchase the vehicle. That's the way that was my understanding. If that didn't get conveyed to you, that's.
No, as I said, when I
Didn't
left, there was
convey to you.
$65,000 of budget to buy a pickup, because you moved it from my budget into the general fund to do that.
But there still is, there's $65,000 to buy that vehicle at the first year, and this budget wouldn't
Right.
give you the 65 until the
Right,
first
and I'm not
year.
arguing that fact, John,
Okay.
but when I left the room, I'm saying, when I left the room that day, the 65 was there to buy the pickup in the first year, and the funding was going in for the next car down the road. And after I left, this all transpired, and I found out about it later.
And so
I'm okay with-
65 is still there to buy it the first of the year. But, I don't know how much lead time we need to order it.
Well, you just gotta order it, it'd probably show up 6 months.
Basically.
I thought they were getting quicker.
Some are.
Not those.
They make the patrol cars in chunks.
Oh.
If you order a patrol car, they're not gonna start making it.
You want
So
to
they
pick
go
up,
by
don't you?
order, they get so
Yeah.
many orders and
They
they
probably
build
make
them.
1,000 of them.
You want to pick up, don't you, though? Or
I
just-
would, yeah, we need at least one. I wouldn't buy more than one, because they're
What's that?
not. I'd only get one pickup for the office.
Since you're probably gonna be getting, maybe get rid of a pickup or trying to limp that one.
What?
Sorry, dude. Since you're maybe even, would you keep that one and try and limp it by then, or the one you got, or what would you do on that one then?
Well, I'm gonna have to do some work to it, because we're gonna have to have it. Right now,
Yeah.
we're playing car jumping every shift.
Are yours?
I've been driving to use my personal vehicle to go back and forth. Like last night, I used it, because there's just enough cars going around. So that's what I've been doing. And I'd probably be okay driving the Dodge, but if it's got a cracked trailing link, I don't wanna be driving it when it goes in the ditch.
100 miles an hour.
Can we, like, as far as like your current staff or to recruit new staff, I mean, is there any recruiting highways or anything that we can do? Can we pull funds over into his current budget to help with that? Or, I mean, is there something like that? I don't know what.
The last time I checked, North Dakota was short of like 155 officers.
Yep, I just
And
looked.
there's like 30 people going through each
Academy?
academy class. So, I mean, it's,
So I've got
So
a
how
potential.
how are other counties being competitive to be able to get them to come to them?
They're not, if we're short 155 officers, they're
It
not.
isn't,
different
it isn't,
positions.
it isn't just money.
No,
It's atmosphere. I know, I just,
locally, we need local
I had a-
participants.
I talked to John for a meeting. I had a young man from Binford who's been in law enforcement now going on 11 years. He's interested in coming back here and being sheriff. And I knew him when he was a kid. I used to deal with him. Yesterday I was driving. I got a phone call out of the blue from a young man from Bismarck. He was deployed military. He's military police. He's eligible to be post certified in 2 weeks training. He said, if he's in person what he was on the phone, he was impressive.
Mhm.
Like, his wife is a licensed social worker, and they're looking for work, and they want to get out of Bismarck. He called me about coming here. You know, we need young people. I got a young man I'm meeting from the county tonight. He wants to talk to me at 6 o'clock. He's looking at a law enforcement career potentially. And they're locals. They're gonna stay here.
That's what you need. is
That's what we
local.
need.
Okay.
Yeah,
You bring in Joe Blow from Tennessee, he's probably a good officer, but he don't speak the language we speak here. He doesn't think the way we think here. He doesn't act the way we act here.
Right.
Plus
The only way this works to be a sheriff and have staff in a county like this,
Yeah.
you gotta understand. You gotta eat the food. You know, it's just reality. It is.
Well, yeah, and the person that comes here, if they're attracted by salary and environment, but not local to here, the next time there's a better salary and a better environment.
Right. The next flash in the pan, they're grabbing it.
Yeah, I mean, that's just what happens. So I gotta ask the question, and Bob, I know there's been some concern about whether or not you have to go to the academy or not. What's taking place?
I have to go to the academy, and
You
I
do.
cannot go to the academy.
Right,
There you have it.
that's, yeah.
That's-
I mean, you told me that. I mean, you told me you couldn't go to the academy.
I've tried every avenue possible, and there's no fudging on it. The only one that seems to be able to fudge stands the highway patrol.
So
Can't run the academy.
So when does that clock tick down?
It's basically ticked down already, but I'm pushing it until we get something figured out.
So explain that to us, and what does it mean for you then? Explain that.
Well, I cannot be a licensed peace officer in the state of North Dakota,
Great.
period.
And we knew that up front when Bob.
Yeah, I
said
made it very
that.
clear.
That's
That's
true.
why I was gone the first time, because then those problems have only gotten worse.
Yeah, and glaucoma forced them out the first time, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
I could still qualify my pistol. If I wouldn't have qualified last week, I'd have given my lighter that day.
yeah.
But I can still shoot. I qualified easily, so.
So what do you think the time frame on that is? Can the county ask for a waiver? Can we do something?
There's no waiver.
It's all what the state wants, and that's it.
I've gotten one waiver to avoid the academy because Brian was going,
Yeah,
so. I'll have something for that next meeting.
so there, you don't think you can go to the academy?
I can't go to the academy. There's no way. If I break my foot, they're gonna cut it off or glue it shut. So
Oh.
that's my options. I'm not gonna be without a foot.
Yeah. Okay.
And, it's a tough deal to talk about.
Well, no, I know, but it's something that has to be talked about because
Right,
it
yeah. Oh,
influences
yeah.
everybody.
I just mean personally, it's tough.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a medical problem then?
Yep.
Okay.
Because of the physical training academy, there's certain things that I will not be able to do. Because if I risk
Okay.
breaking my foot again, it's over.
Oh,
Done.
I didn't
There's no
realize
fixing
that.
it. It was broke bad.
Oh. Okay.
That's it. So I live with it every day.
Okay, that's,
Is there any information you guys want me to bring for you? Because if there is, even during the week, let me know, because if we just drag it on meeting to meeting, it takes a while to get through some of this information. I've been trying to recruit people here for the last 6 months,
yeah.
very, very diligently, and then had a couple signed up, were really excited about coming, they knew the time frames, and they both backed out, and then my two school resource people, they both backed out.
Mhm.
That's just the way it is.
You're doing an amazing job. I am a full supporter and a full appreciative person for everything you do, coming in here when you did and helping reorganize everything and trying to recruit people and working in a situation that's not pleasant when you don't, when we beg you to. So I thank you so very, very much.
So
What's the-
what's the emergency response, and if we don't have a sheriff and we don't have anybody, what is the fallback?
That's what I'm trying to figure out, John.
Yeah, no, I'm not,
I mean,
you
I'm
got to
not
figure it
being,
out.
I'm not being anything but honest.
No, but I mean, I'm sure there's other communities that are going through that in North Dakota, for sure, 150 law enforcement officers, I'm sure.
One of our neighboring counties is gonna get through it pretty quick, I'm pretty sure the sheriff's leaving, I know that.
Yeah,
And he's got one deputy, and that deputy's leaving too.
yeah.
So, yeah, could you just not have somebody on call that weekend and just be like, oh, today we're shut down?
Well, the county is required to have law enforcement.
Right.
If that happens, we just have to try to work with another county and see if we can appoint an interim sheriff or work with the sheriff from another county.
Yeah, and like John mentioned, this is a statewide problem, it's a nationwide problem.
Yeah,
And we just add our own unique twist to it, each county adds its own unique twist to it.
yeah, yeah.
But
Did all the surplus people from out west, when the oil boom was going, they're all cleared out already? Because
They're all gone.
there was surplus law enforcement out there,
they still have tremendous law enforcement out there,
but not the population anymore, or not the.
but they're busy, my God,
Yeah.
they busy.
It's still pretty booming out there, though.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's
Yeah.
still
One
really
Brian-
busy out there.
I know two very well. One used to be a deputy in Steele County. He said it just never ended. They just can't get over it. Because the ones that did come and stay, they brought a whole different set of values and cultural
Yeah.
impacts to their communities. And,
They stayed.
one question, the check for the car, what fund does that go into? The surplus car.
Oh, it's in the general
General.
fund.
Just a basic general? Okay.
General,
That
yeah.
one, they came through?
$4,100.
Did you come through?
Come through.
I mean,
Pick it up?
it can go to the general fund, but it doesn't mean that then from there it can't be allocated to the sheriff's department if it's needed for something.
Yeah, whatever. I gotta get it deposited. So.
Yeah, but it needs to go to the general fund to start
Right.
with, and then it
Okay.
can be allocated, then once it's in the budget, it can be moved.
Okay.
And maybe that money could be used to buy computers.
Can we get that $100 bill?
What's that?
You know, those little things that,
Yeah.
it was like computers and stuff, it's like,
And I'm hoping next meeting I'll have an update on these gaming requests.
because that, yeah, even that income from that pickup could go towards computers or something that is a necessity in your apartment.
So I guess the final, should I go order a vehicle? Should I find a vehicle?
Yes, order vehicle.
Okay. Get that done.
Order vehicle, get that done.
Okay, anything else? If not, I've gotta go.
Call me anytime.
So could we have a motion authorizing Bob to,
I'll make that motion.
are we going to put a price, are we gonna put a value on it?
Should we,
Can I say this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Make your motion to purchase a vehicle. I will bring you options next meeting.
Okay.
And you'll know the dollar amount.
So we'll need a motion for Bob to explore ordering a vehicle, and he'll bring us the options as soon as he gets them. We need a motion to that effect.
Motion for a quote.
I'll do that. Make that.
Motion by Tranby to authorize Bob to receive a quote on vehicles, possible vehicles. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Averill and Edlund.
Just put.
we piped up for
That
it?
shows you.
That'll be a mistake on next deal, 2 people second. it.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
One thing that might, and I never thought about this until no one else in county's looked into it. Enterprise has taken a lot of the fleet vehicles for leases. And I don't know if the county wants to get involved in leases, but there are leases that Enterprise has that are pretty cost effective on fleet vehicles, and it seems like that's what a lot of counties. are
Most I've
doing.
seen has been, a lot of the cities are using that.
Yeah.
Cities use it because they don't put the miles on. It's a little different deal.
Really
They
no-
rotate so many.
Jamestown Police Department and the Jamestown Sheriff's Department did a lease thing on vehicles about 25, 30 years ago. It was different times, but it was a 1-year deal and they got rid of it. That's something if you guys want me to explore, I can, but.
Well, at least in the private sector, it gives you some tax advantages. The county doesn't, there is no, it's just a method of financing. I can't imagine that would be an advantage to us.
I'll just give you an example. The neighboring county, they bought a pickup. I think they paid $67,000 for it. I'm not gonna buy that pickup for Griggs County. I'm gonna buy a pickup that makes more sense, trim-wise.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a tool. I look at it as a tool. It's always fun to drive the vehicle, I don't care who you are. It's always fun to get something to drive it. But at the end of the day, it's a tool for us to do our job. So as long as it's got the equipment stuff we need, that's what I'm gonna buy.
Yeah, vinyl floor mats and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
You can hold them up, sweep them.
the radios are all taken care of, ordered and all
Yeah,
that coming?
yeah, they're coming. David's coming too. So.
Okay.
Very good.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Thank
Bob.
you, Bob.
Thank you, Bob. Let's see.
So the
Oh, Bob,
Yeah.
one more thing, you're in on this next one.
Okay.
Employee background checks. It's come to my attention that we should probably have a policy in place to run background checks on future employees.
Yeah, so that was brought to my attention. I didn't know that no one else did. Of course, law enforcement has to.
So I'll quickly say this, I cannot do those background checks for you. I cannot disseminate the information I get. I can't do that.
But we just have to contract
Yeah.
out, just
Yeah.
like every other employer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we have a background company that we
Yeah.
go through. They're not
But
very
I-
expensive,
I
$35
think
bucks.
we need, any future job offers need to be contingent, and I think it needs to be in either just a hiring guideline or employee handbook.
See, what you guys do for the rest of the county is different than my office.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Our office
I know.
is done through the FBI and the DCI to the nth degree.
Yeah.
What you guys do from there, that's different.
Yeah.
But I think they should be fingerprinted and sent into a different agency because we should be doing that.
Yeah, so,
Well, we don't fingerprint our staff. We just run them through a background check company. It's online.
Oh, yeah, and you can, that's fine too, we can do that.
You don't
If the
need to-
county do something like that, we will use it as our initial screening. That's invaluable. It would save us a lot of time and effort. But
Yeah,
our final, I just gotta go through definite channels, but that pre-screening would be wonderful for us.
yeah, it's not very expensive.
Because by the time I get somebody from A to that background check, we've got input there, financial input already, and if we could save wasted down money, that'd be great.
yeah.
It's usually pretty
So-
quick.
Yeah, we
Just
need,
just so you know, if I run any information through our NCIC system or the state teletype system, for me to disseminate that to
Yeah, I know.
anyone other than the court
yeah,
is a misdemeanor or a felony,
Yeah,
and I'm not going there.
yeah, no.
So,
So we need, in order to do this, then we need to make any hiring decisions
Contingent.
other than the sheriff's department, that of the commission.
Well, I don't know.
I think it would be up to each department and
Or
their
contingent
funds,
on a-
if you ask me.
Contingent on a background check, but we should set a standard, and I didn't think about what kind of standard we should do. First of all, just get that, but, I mean, we have to have some sort of standard. You can't, people are going to have errors in their life, but we don't wanna have errors that are gonna impact the citizens if they're dealing with finances or dealing with citizens' information.
Can you find out what the other counties are doing
I
and give us a
will.
draft on that?
But there's a lot of counties using those companies. It's really smooth and fast. It's like,
But I mean, I see what Jamie's saying,
Yeah.
what are the standards then?
great. And those companies will help you with that. They'll kind of help you through that, what levels
Yeah, I
are
can do
like.
some research on that for the next meeting,
Yeah.
but I think it's something that's important
Yeah.
because we don't wanna have something here that's, we have employees that have, they have all this employees information, and I'm not saying anything about people out here now, but for the future.
Yeah, and I think that's why it needs to be through the commission, so that there is a standard, you know, otherwise, then we can agree, yep, it meets that, and,
Ours is a 5-year look back and no abuse charges, no, federal charges, theft, just the basic, but.
And they have recommendations to those companies on what your job's gonna be. I mean, what your financial person's gonna be versus to what your maintenance person is gonna be, quite a bit different. So
Right.
so,
driving record's a huge one.
so do we need to, is a touchy one, do we need to have a drug testing program with that?
I think there is one in our policy manual, just that we're zero tolerance.
Just for the road department. Road department is.
Yeah, the road
Yeah,
department.
anything with, anybody with a license, right,
I think, Steele County's got drug for everybody.
yeah.
Random drug test.
Plug it out.
Not random, but I think they just do a higher.
Random alcohol testing used to be the big thing. Not anymore. It's chemical use. That's what you do test for.
Ours is a 5-panel that we use.
Well, I can look and see what other counties are doing, send some information, or request some information from other states' attorneys and see how they're handling it.
I mean, that would fit all together with the, it seems kind of contradictory when we're looking for employees to try to be weeding out employees, but that still has to be done.
Right.
Well, last thing you want is hire somebody you think you got, and then all they do is cause trouble too. So that's gonna cause more problems than if we didn't have somebody there.
Is that it?
Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, Bob.
County copier proposal, what happened to our copier?
I've been having some issues with my copiers, or my copier. The pages get all smeared and stuff. I've had them come out and fix it a few times, and so then the lady just said, "Can I get a different proposal for you to bring to your guys' attention because the maintenance on my machine is getting kind of up there." So this is just their proposal for the 2 machines, one machine in my office and one machine in the copier room.
Are we buying the machines?
We do own it right now, and so then they would be giving us $8,000 for a trade-in value.
Can we lease one? We lease ours because in that way, because
So then if you-
copiers, they go out of style so fast, and when we lease it, they maintain it, they do all the ink cartridges in it, and then when it comes to the end of life of there, which is 3-4 years, then we just get a new one through them. I mean, we work with Central Business Systems and we lease it. And I
So
think
your
that's
leasing stuff is right there on the bottom. It's the available options. If you guys would like to lease,
Yeah.
but the quote, what the total there is to buy. But if you would like to lease, it's there. And so then that's what they're saying is that we're going to be saving money in the long run if we get a new machine because of the
End of life.
the maintenance that has been going on.
So what are the maintenance costs that we've been incurring?
From what she said is an average of $244 per month.
And we document that with what we paid out? Or that's just her estimate?
That's just hers.
So shouldn't we know what we're actually paying for maintenance?
You want me to go back and do that?
Yeah, I'm about leasing. I would lease versus buy, but that's what I do with all my equipment at work.
Well,
Electronic equipment that has a easy, fast end of life.
But even when they have maintenance to my machine, it hasn't worked. Like they've redone the fuser twice, and it has not helped anything. They've upped the temperature on it. That hasn't helped. I mean, it's just an old machine that's. So it's whatever you guys would like to do, and.
So the option is buy it or lease it.
Buy it, lease it, or if you don't want to do anything.
Well, copier gets used. They're
And
It's
you guys have
painful.
even seen
I'm
the,
sure
the prints when they come out smeared and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
it's-
And
it's an expensive.
You
unit.
print all these out with it too, don't you, or is that different?
no, yep, these all come.
And then the leasing one, it was just basically, if we lease it, we just pay a monthly fee and they take care of everything.
Mm-hmm. It's nice. It's super nice.
They're gonna give, I understand it's older, but are they gonna give us anything for the old one then?
Yep, so then it would be the $8,000.
No, but I mean, like, even if we lease it. Even if we, let's say we lease a new one,
Yep,
are they gonna give us anything for the old one?
I think so.
what are we paying right now? I mean, this needs to be, we need to quantify this. What's it costing us right now? I don't see anything wrong with this copy, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
If our copier printed these, I don't see anything wrong with that. So don't you think we owe it to the citizens to find out what we're actually paying and to have these copiers and go from there?
How old's your copier? How old is it?
16.
2016?
16.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Trade in. This was purchased in 2016. Yeah, here it is. It's aged out. How often do they came to fix it?
I call them about monthly.
Like I said, let's see the maintenance costs on it for next meeting, and we can go from a position of knowledge. Old courthouse, new courthouse.
I've got nothing.
Anything on the cabin?
No.
No cabin.
No.
Future business.
Probably put the crown appraisal on it, see what they come up with.
Oh,
I don't, they're just, they talked to you, okay, I'm gonna talk to Todd, I know. He came up last Wednesday, I think, last week to do some stuff on it.
well, they'll tell us when they,
Yeah. I see that.
then we'll put it on.
Put it on, yeah.
When they're,
See.
yeah, when they're ready. Anything else on future business?
I think we should do at least, I don't know if Bobby or even Jamie or who we exactly talk to, but sit down with both boards when it,
Oh.
at least get something figured out or a date when we all can sit down and have a meeting for both contracts.
Yeah, I think they should be invited to the next meeting, both of them.
Yeah.
And if we don't get it done, fine, but at least starts the process. Because it's
Yeah.
going back and this and this.
Yeah,
this and
it's
this,
not- we're not
and
accomplishing
We're not getting
anything.
anywhere, no.
You want the school and the city, all of us, to sit down, one big powwow,
No.
be like, or you wanna do the
Us in
city
the
first?
school, well, yeah, whatever, just
Yeah.
schedule them.
Either or, even if they all show up, at least that way we can get something done and get these contracts finalized and get it taken care of.
I don't even care if they all come the same day, we hit both of them at the
Yeah,
same day.
and
while we're on
I'm
the same roll.
perfectly okay with that too.
It might make for a longer meeting, or we can have a separate meeting for it. I mean, the city council people, are they here during the day, or do they all work during the day? Do they?
They usually have their meeting's usually at 7 o'clock at night.
Because I'm okay to get together when it's convenient for everybody. It can't satisfy everybody, but. you
The
know,
school is always at 7 in the morning. It's their
The school
Tuesday.
people can usually
They
hit afternoons
they
too.
just need to satisfy whatever
Yeah.
they need to satisfy in order to spend the money they're spending.
Yeah, I do.
In order to do
Yeah,
the
I
contract,
agree.
we need to do the same thing, and with us, it takes a quarter.
So, I don't know what I'm gonna say.
I think we should reach out to them and see if they're available
The next
in
meeting.
next meeting and give each one of them a time slot of half an hour.
That sounds good.
And if we don't get it done, we don't get it done. We do it the meeting after that. At least from that point, we have a starting point. Because there's gonna be some questions and
And we don't have people to fill the position right now anyways.
right.
Poor Bob, he doesn't have people to fill his own positions.
That way if we can get something finalized here and keep the ball rolling on it.
We just have to make sure that we don't commit to something we can't deliver.
Yeah, that's understandable.
A lot of things are out of our,
But that way we can at least sit down, both sides can come to an agreement and get it finalized.
Jamie, anything on that?
I'll be here.
All right. Anything else, future business? Well, we'll reach that time. It's time to go.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Motion by Tranby to adjourn. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Abreu. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Meeting adjourned. 3:37 PM. Next meeting in this room, Thursday, November 2nd at 2:30. Thank you all for coming.